All right. Welcome back, wrestling fans. This is Quarantine Conversations with Virginia College Coaches. And my name is Brian Hazard with Virginia Wrestling Association. And today we are just having a blast. We're going to talk today to Southwest Virginia Community College head coach Joey Stiltner, Southwest Community College down in Richlands, Virginia. And Joey, how are things going? Tell me about what's going on in quarantine for you.
It's certainly a different world. Recruiting kids to a campus that we're not really supposed to be on, and kids, out-of-state kids really can't see the campus. I've shown their drone tours. I've shown around campus. I luckily had a couple visits before the quarantine. So it's been a different world. It's been strange, but we're adjusting. We're adjusting, and I like the way the recruiting class is coming together. And so we're getting there.
That's great. And you're also, by trade, you're an attorney. So Joey Stiltner, Esquire. Tell me a little bit about how you balance that time between being a attorney and also being a coach and running clubs and doing all those things that you're doing out yonder in Richlands.
Just gotta love wrestling. I balance it, but it is tough. I love the sport. I've bbeen around the sport since I was 3 years old, probably before going to those old state tournaments, even out at Old Dominion when they were hosted there. Just always going to those state tournaments, watching Grundy when I lived over there. I had several cousins that wrestled for Grundy growing up, so I was always looking up to those guys. But it's just managing time. I do court all morning till late in the afternoon, and then go straight into wrestling practice.
Man, that's tough work, but it takes a lot of passion, and we appreciate that passion and the fact that you're an alumni of Southwest. Also, you were wrestling at Longwood back in the day when they had a program before, unfortunately, they were dropped. And so tell me a little bit about the journey for a student who might not quite know where they want to go, and then they go to Southwest for the 2-year community college, the 2-year junior college. How does that lead to success later? We just finished up our first year of competition, our first year of athletes. So I was really impressed with the kids that stuck with it. The overall grade point average, I think they were doing very well. I think they'll continue to do very well. We have a wrestler, and just to show a little bit about the differences of our wrestlers, we have a wrestler on campus right now who probably maintains a 3.8 to 4.0 GPA, who his ultimate goal is to go to Virginia Tech in engineering. We have also a wrestler on campus who maintains probably just as high a GPA, and he was just recently accepted into our nursing program on Southwest, so he's here for RN. So you can wind up in so many places through the community college journey. You can go on to the 4-year schools. We have the VCCS, Virginia Community College System, has transfer agreements with probably, I think it's close to 20 institutions, of 4-year institutions. So you come to Southwest or any Virginia Community College, you complete your first 2 years. You will leave there, as long as you graduate with an associate's degree, you'll leave there and be an automatic junior with automatic acceptance into Virginia Tech, University of Virginia. That's the agreement that's in place. If you meet certain requirements, GPA requirements and credit requirements, you walk in, automatically, and you're automatically a junior. You have the credits, they accept the credits. And then there's the athletes who maybe want to get that welding certificate or want that welding degree, or we have a great program called Advanced Manufacturing that puts you into the real world manufacturing jobs. Those jobs are ever changing as well. They require computer skills. They require reading and writing skills. They require everything's ever changing. And I think we can put students into those type of fields. We have a wonderful health science program. We offer RE and respiratory therapy. so really, there's so many different journeys that you can take through the community college ranks,
and I'm sure academically and financially, it's really a benefit to get those core classes out of the way if you want to go to a 4-year school. And just I'm sure the class is a little bit smaller and the rigor might be a little bit different than going to a 4-year school for a kid who isn't sure. And with the competition that you get to do throughout Virginia, man, you can't beat that.
Oh yeah, we our 4-year schools, going into a 4-year school, it's expensive, particularly the private schools. Some of the D3s, NAI schools are very expensive, and the community college system, especially for in-state students, you just can't beat it. The price, the benefit, the grant opportunities are out there for in-state students are just amazing. You really just can't beat the experience.
Right. And we talked a little bit at the beginning about your passion, and obviously being an alum and then moving on to Longwood and then finishing at Virginia Tech. And, what made you say, I want to go back to Southwest and start a program? Because really for wrestling, it's huge to have our schools like Southwest and Northern Virginia Community College having programs to get kids out there. So what made you really have that passion to go and start the program?
I had coached, I had volunteered at high schools locally. I had helped clubs locally, and just and I had, coached clubs for years, and just I know Southwest was trying to start the athletics. The entire athletic department's only 2 years old. So they were in the process of starting athletics. I knew they were looking for a coach. I reached out to see what I could do to help, and here I am. Here I am.
They got you. So tell me about your process of recruiting and how you set up your schedule, being that you're the only 2-year community college or junior college in Virginia that has wrestling. So how do you go about your scheduling?
With Spartanburg Methodist no longer, with them dropping their program this year, we are actually the only junior college in the entire Southeast with a program. We're Region 10 extends from Northern Georgia into South Carolina. NJCAA, the National Junior College Athletic Association, extends from North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, our region, and into West Virginia. We're the only school in our region with a program now. Then, there's no programs in Florida. There's no programs in Georgia. There's no programs in South Carolina, Alabama. So really, we're it in the Southeast. As far as 2-year colleges go with a wrestling team.
Southeastern champions, baby. I like it.
Region 10.
So
as far as building schedules, we are blessed in that we came in, and other colleges similarly sized are coming in at the same time. We wrestle Bluefield, we wrestle St. Andrews, we wrestle West Virginia Tech. This year, we look forward to adding on Emory and Henry and Shenandoah to our schedule. We also have added Montreat onto our schedule out of North Carolina. It looks like we've picked up Queens College. We've also picked up, it looks like a duel with, or it's a try. It's our try that we're doing with St. Andrews. St. Andrews added another team to our trial last night. Now I'm blanking on who it is, but really, I joked earlier this year with West Virginia Tech's coach, and I said I'm almost an unofficial member of their NAIA conference because I think I'm wrestling everybody in the conference this year.
Well, but anytime we can get competition outside of the room, you're going to probably jump at that because, these kids are coming long distances to live in Richlands, to get an associate's and to work with you. And the fact that they get to compete at any level is awesome for the sport. So, we really appreciate that.
We wrestled this year, I think between individual tournaments and duels in our first year competition, we wrestled everything from NJCAA competition, NAIA competition, D3 competition, and some D2 competition. We went up to Pennsylvania. So.
Right. And gosh, just in our area, there's plenty of places that they can compete. What can we do as a community, a wrestling community, whether it be VAWA, Virginia Wrestling Association, or whether it be the surrounding community of coaches? What can we do to benefit your program or benefit the college in general, the landscape?
I think, I really think we've done a really good job nationwide in the last few years of just spreading the Grow Wrestling message. Between the sanctioning of women's wrestling, other states. I think I saw just this morning another state had sanctioned. Then just the opportunity of more tournaments, more opportunities for the youth. Cost-wise, wrestling can run into some cost for some of these teams or some of these kids traveling across the state to compete in open tournaments and youth tournaments. And but I think we try to do a decent job of that as well. Just spread the word. Wrestling's the best sport. Wrestling is the best sport. Fundamental sport, builds endurance, balance, everything. I can't think of anything that wrestling wouldn't help.
Well, absolutely. And obviously we're on the call today because of your vision and the way that you love wrestling so much that you're reaching out. And, I think we could take this video and send it to several other, 2-year schools to start a program, because it obviously can do a great job of getting butts in the seats, right, and getting people into college, and with admissions the way they are, we want kids to have that opportunity to go to school and to be able to compete at any level. So those are great things just to get kids involved in the sport and get them to your campus in Richlands. And so what else do you have for us today? Anything else happening good?
No, just recruiting, building schedules, getting LOIs out to student athletes. We are NJCA Division I, so we do offer scholarships for housing, room and board, books, things like that. We do have a scholarship budget. So just anxious to get back on some mats somewhere, though. No, I don't know of a club in Virginia that's practicing right now.
I don't think there's many. I've seen some videos of some serious people in their front yards in the grass competing with their little brothers. Or I know my wife is sick of my 3 children and I, trying to put her in a half Nelson or she's trying to keep the furniture from getting broken in the house. And I'm sure that chaos is around the whole area.
We were, my son's 11 and I was teaching him just a different variation on a high crotch the other day. And I was like, we're practicing on hardwood floors right now. I didn't even bring my mats home. I didn't even bring a small mat home.
Oh man, I'm sure your wife loves that. But hey, we I can't thank you enough for being a pioneer in the 2-year colleges, and in Southwest Virginia Community College is obviously a great opportunity for kids to get an education and to get on the mats and to have a non-traditional look at the sport. I looked at your roster. You have kids from all over Virginia, Alabama, North Carolina. So how do we reach out to you to get information?
SWCCsports.com. Also, my email address is joey.stiltner@sw.edu. Anyone who's interested, who wants to find out more, just fill out the recruiting form on swccsports.com. I'll be happy to reach out to you. I usually return those pretty quickly. Look at our website. There are tons of there are programs that if I tried to list them all, I would be doing someone a disservice. But there are programs that, again, you can come for a year and get to work. There are programs you can come for 2 years and get to work. It's never you can never prepare yourself too much for the job market. I don't think anyone's going to be overqualified for the job market going forward. Maybe if you rather than get out and take just any job you can, maybe come and try your hand at welding, or we actually just started a automotive servicing program. So, come out and try it. If you want to be a mechanic, come out and learn for a year and see where it takes you.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Micah Emrazovich at Prentice School, and we were having a conversation about kids who maybe aren't ready to go to college or maybe aren't college students, and it's a great opportunity to learn a trade. And heck, if you can learn a trade and compete in wrestling at the same time, not every kid is built for those English, science, history classes, and they want to hop right into learning that trade. So I'm glad you guys have that available.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. I think the community college system as a whole can really, I really think the community college system as a whole is great for that. In that, we see ads that, go to college. We also see ads, go to trade school. Everybody should learn a trade. And I don't disagree with either of those statements. There are kids who would benefit from the 4-year college or 7 years in my case, with law school. And there are kids who could benefit from our welding or masonry or nursing or any of those programs. And it takes all of those people. It's not a situation where we're not all round pegs in round holes. You have to find your squares and you have to find where you belong. And I think the community college system is great for that.
Well, yeah, I'm in a total agreement, and I'm glad that we were able to connect. Just the fact that there are opportunities that are outside the normal purview of universities and kids going to 4-year schools. And I just appreciate, again, you kind of blazing the trail for that in Virginia, and I hope that we can reach out to some of the other community college systems in Virginia and get the same thing. Again, I appreciate it.
I would love to see community college, the Virginia Community College League, a VCCS league. Let's every community college have a team.
Absolutely.
I think, in California, the junior colleges in California have their own conference. They don't even compete at the national tournament. They compete at the South Carolina State tournament. I still want to keep the national conference, obviously, but I'd love to have a Virginia champion of the community college system.
Well, hopefully you can blaze that trail, and we as a community can reach out to our local community colleges and say, hey, we have one. Let's make sure we have more that way. And then, also that can be a really good spear for getting women's wrestling at colleges, because you start with that and that grows to, we already have the club at Liberty, and we have the Emory and Henry women and the Ferrum women. But again, that can really set a fire under people's feet to start women's wrestling.
And I actually saw, I guess just this morning too, that St. Andrews has started women's wrestling. I think Nick Soto had announced that on Facebook. So you do, within this 3-hour drive time, you do have King's in Tennessee, St. Andrews in North Carolina. You also have Ferrum, as you said. You have Emory and Henry. They'll be starting next year, I guess. You have, or do their women start this year as well?
I think they both start this year.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were doing one year and then starting both the second.
Coach Hansen didn't bring it up when we were chatting, but I'm sure they're probably starting at the same time.
Okay. So really, within this, I always sort of look at, I will wrestle a duel with anyone within 3 hours. If I'm going outside of 3 hours, we really like to try to find tries or quads or things like that. But really that 3-hour window, we're now talking several schools, not just men and women's. From where I'm at in the 3 hours, we could be down into the Charlotte area, the Greensboro, Winston area, nearly into Raleigh. We could be over into Averett. We could be up into the Roanoke schools, Roanoke College, Ferrum, those places. We could be down into North Carolina, down into the mountains of North Carolina around Asheville, where St. Andrews is, where Spartansburg was. So, we're centrally located, and there's a lot of schools coming in right inside of our region.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And I remember growing up watching people from Richlands and Grundy and that Southwest Virginia, and them telling me that it's a great area, 6 hours from everything. But once you get there, you meet in the middle. It's a great area to be. And the history, it just in that Cumberland Gap, Southwestern Virginia area, man, the history of wrestling is a pretty amazing. You could write many books about it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really great wrestlers have come from this region.
Yep. And your name is synonymous with that. I know the Stiltner name.
The first 4-time state champ was, Shane Bowman, of course, from Grundy, in 2A, 4-timer. The first, I'd say in 2A and 1A, the majority of the 4-timers are from right here in Southwest Virginia. I mean, most of the 4-time state champs from 1A and 2A are Southwestern Virginia residents.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as well. Well, Joey, I really appreciate your time this morning, and I hope and pray for your family that that you guys stay healthy and your program stays healthy. And if we can do anything to support you, please let us know.
Thank you, and you stay safe.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All righty.